People always eat junk, especially when they're fucking drunk. People always eat junk, especially when they're fucking drunk. People always eat junk, especially when they're fucking drunk. People always eat junk, especially when they're fucking drunk. People always eat junk, especially when they're funk and drunk. Funk and drunk, funk and drunk, funk and drunk, funk and drunk, funk and drunk. Funky. People always eat junk, especially when they're funk and drunk. People always eat junk, especially when they're funk and drunk. Funk and drunk, funk and drunk, funk and drunk, funk and drunk, funk and drunk.
Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below.
Welcome in, everyone, to AOR. I am Curtis Kenyon. Alongside me is Austin Knight. We're at Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix. This is the American League. Austin, this is going to be awesome.
Yes, it will be. We are here at this wonderful track here in China. This 16-turn track has probably one of my favorite opening turns. Apparently, it's 4 turns in one, but I just count it as 2. This entire track, 2 carousel sections, I like to call them, the long right-hand turns, and then followed by 1 action-packed braking point at turn 14 after a long back straight. So you should see a lot of DRS overtaking here, but we're currently in qualifying, so let's go right on.
Taking a look at the track facts right now. Tons of long straights. The longest straight in F1. Should be a fantastic race. This is the last victory that Michael Schumacher had here in the real-life F1. And honestly, this track usually produces some of the best action that we see. It's very much a driver's track.
Yes, it is. Drivers love this track. Some drivers hate this track. They hate parts of this track, but everyone has a certain part of this track that they like. There's not really overall hate towards this track, but most of the drivers I've talked to, they love this track.
And as you're seeing on your screen, the hairpin at the end of that long straight is one of the craziest turns, I think, in the world, personally. But another Herman Tilke design, built on marshland. Don't worry, we're not going to be sinking into anything. One of the coolest facts that I actually didn't know this until doing some research on it. Yeah, it's a swamp, but there's still water around. If you ever get the chance to jump in to this place, it's really cool. But we're going to go into the hot lap as we take a look at the tires available. Medium softs and ultra softs. In Austin, we're expecting the softs to be used in qualifying.
Yes, we are. The softs would be the currently preferred qualifying tires if it's a dry start. I have seen some rain during the weekend of today's races and just this weekend races here at China, but it's always a factor. But qualifying on the softs would be the preferred strategy, since the ultra soft tire life around this track is like 4 laps, and the pace advantage you'll get from it is not gonna help you out in the long run, since that will be a 2-stop strategy.
Yep.
Is what currently everyone's on right now.
16,
except for one person.
16 turns, should be an awesome race. We're going to the hot lap.
This week we're on board with the Ferrari of Evo from the Xbox F1 League as he navigates a lap of the Shanghai International Circuit ahead of the Chinese Grand Prix. Starting his lap now on the rundown toward a very high-speed, swooping double right-hander of turns 1 and 2. Not an easy overtaking location, but we do expect to see some side-by-side action at these corners during the races this week. Try to open up turn 3 as much as possible in order to get the best run through turn 4 and inevitably turn 5 and into the very likely overtaking location at the hairpin of turn 6. Evo will be braking right around the 100-meter board and all the way down to second gear for the entrance and apex before popping back up into third gear for the exit in order to minimize wheel spin. Up through the gears on the short run down to my favorite part of the track with a high-speed left and then a slightly lower speed right, dropping from 7th down to 5th and hugging the inside of the corner as much as possible in order to open up the double left-handers of 9 and 10. 10 is a bit more open than 9, so carry that speed onto the medium length straight and down toward the heavy braking zone of turn 11, and also the DRS detection line at the entrance of turn 12, which along with turn 13 make up the most important corners on the circuit due to the extremely long straight that follows them. Understeer can be your biggest enemy coming out of these increasing radius corners, and proximity to the car in front will have a huge effect on your ability to overtake into the super heavy braking zone of turn 14. Well over 330 kph with the DRS open, Evo now spots his braking point just before the 100-meter board and slams on the brakes, downshifting all the way to second gear once again, but holding it for a bit of the exit before climbing back up through the gears towards the tricky final corner. Stab of the brakes and 2 downshifts are enough to get the car through the corner cleanly, and then it's a short sprint to the line, and that's a lap of the Shanghai International Circuit.
And here we are, taking a look at Kingy, who is in the lead for qualifying right now with a 131.752. Looks like he's rocking the Ultra Softs too, Austin.
Yes, he is. Actually, almost everybody except for Intergalactic Gentleman is rocking the Ultra Soft tires. They're just going to go on for banging quick laps right now. Maybe there's something in the weather forecast for the start. Maybe we might see a wet start, but currently everyone rocking the Ultra Soft tires or just going on them for a little hot lap sightings, as Raven and Animus are both sitting in second and third like they've been in most of the qualifying session. With 10 minutes to go, everyone's pretty settled in on one lap, then going to the pits and going out for 1-2 laps again, as Z-Womp just went on his second lap and sits in 7th for Mercedes.
I'm having some slight broadcast issues. Don't mind me. We're just going to watch the pause menu. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yes, the pause menu is a great pause menu, but I'll tell you what's not so great is Z-Womp as he flies into the gravel at the exit of turn 1. Don't know what happened there, but no damage on his car, but a lot of gravel. It won't help his grip.
Having a look at Raven right now. Coming down the back stretch. Nails that braking marker. Gets it down nicely. Down the 2 gears. Through the front stretch, the pit straight. There's the DRS opening up. A 135.029. Not going to improve this time out. And he did look a little bit shaky just in the little piece that I saw. But he looks like he's going out for another lap. Let's go on board. And we're on board with ACR Raven. Go ahead and take us through, Austin.
All right, Raven coming up to turn 5. It's a nice, fast right-hander, but he's hard on the brakes going into turn 6. That's the end of sector 1. It looks like he's just down on his first split time, and he's hard on the gas again for this long left-handed turn for turn 7. This is one of my favorite turns in all of F1, going to turn 8 and heading into the double turn of 9 and 10. it's treated like one turn, but it's actually two.
Yep. Yeah, and honestly, that's one of the toughest spots in the whole F1 circuit, including this section right here. So important to nail this. Oh, he spins it.
Just as you were saying, it's one of the most difficult. Raven, one of our skilled drivers, spins out right there. Raven is also tied for the championship lead with some idiot after 2 rounds, both of them having a win in second place. They're both tied for the lead, and that should be a very interesting battle and story to watch for most of this season, as he is now recovering from that and definitely going ahead into the pits right now.
So we'll go ahead and check out Animus. He's on his outlap right now, trying to get those tires nice and warm. We were talking about this a little bit earlier, Austin, the fact that the softs are the preferred compound here at this track because it is so abrasive and the direction changes are so abrupt. You want those tires to last as long as possible. But we're seeing a lot of people running these ultra softs. They're going to have to start the race on this.
Yes, either they're all on some benefactor strategy that, hey, if you start on the ultra softs, I'll start on the ultra softs, or they've looked at the weather report, say, hey, there's a chance of rain, and there might be some rain during the start. And I believe it's either one of those two things, or they're believing that they can bring out much of a gap that it would improve their chances for qualifying up there. But you just see everyone from 11th down to 18th, if they would probably be starting on the soft tires. They're just trying to get into the top 10. But we do have some soft tire runners on their outlaps right now. That would be Heineken and Some Idiot. I believe Some Idiot's running a bit slower on those ultra softs to give him a bit of buffer room to run on those soft tires. Actually, we got 3 guys on softs right now.
There's a request to run the sector times, and I believe I have that up there on the nameplate there in the upper right-hand corner of the screen there. We're still watching Animus. He's about to set a time right now as he's making his way around the circuit, getting through Sector 1, 23.7 seconds. Not too bad.
Yes, not too shabby at all. That is around his pace right there, heading into Sector 2. Around those heavy tire corners right there. A little bit of lockup on that front right-hand tire. Running on the curbs. Hopefully he keeps his car stable through what I like to call the carousel to that tight turn 11. Then he's got to flick his car all the way onto the right side into turn 12 and 13 around this very, very hard corner. You might think it's a bit easy since it's banked, but if you run up on those curves, your car will shoot off into any which way directions. And he opens up DRS and down that back straight.
Slams on the brakes. Looks like a touch late. Yeah, there's a bit of a lockup there, trying to make sure it gets stopped down. A little bit of a spin there. Get the car to rotate around through the final corner. Let's see what he can set. Might be, I don't think it's going to be an improvement.
Nah, he slowed down right at the end.
Yeah, he was weaving on the back stretch there. Not quite sure why he was doing that. But let's go ahead and take a look around and see what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, looking at his sector times, that second lap was just slower, but he was quicker in Sector 3, but his first 2 sectors were not as fast as his first lap. So that is very interesting for him as he's heading onto a new sector, but he's just heading in on his in lap right now, judging by the sector times for Animus.
That's what I'm thinking too. We're having a look at Heineken. Got a little bit tied up there, turn 10. Don't think this is going to be a very fast lap for him. He's going to have to clean that up a little bit. Just over.
He's a second down.
He's a second down. Okay, yeah. So just over 6 or just under 6 minutes left in the session. So there is some time to clean up those laps and maybe make a slight adjustment here and there. But we'll have to see what he can do, as it looks like Z3 Mikey just passed him right now. Let's have a look at him. Yes, that's him.
Oh, this is going to be a quick one. He's setting personal best in Sector 1s to Sector 2 right now. Actually, a second under him.
Kingy went a 131.1 faster again.
Dang.
Mikey. 132. You know, that's actually respectable. Honestly, puts him in
that is
third
a really
place.
good lap. Oh, what has happened with Animus?
Yeah, looks like he spun.
No, I think he pulled off the track to go into the pits, and there was a car right behind him, and he didn't want to interrupt this lap.
Oh, that's fair.
Great sportsmanship by Animus. I'll give you that as... Yeah, that is very good sportsmanship by Animus, thinking of others before himself. But while we were focusing on Animus and Mikey, Flaff jumped up into 5th in that Toro Rosso.
Slight volume adjustment. That actually seems a little bit high. Let's turn that down just a touch. Sorry, guys. There we go. Much better. I'm sorry, you said we're watching Flaff.
Yeah, Flaff on those 2 laps. He's coming on his in lap. Yeah, he is. He just set a really fast lap, setting into 5th as I believe Z-Womp just jumped into 8th. Yes, he did.
Let's take a look at him. How he's
as
doing.
some idiot rockets into 2nd place on the soft tires with a 131.616.
Some idiot proving that if you can set the car up around the slightly harder compound, you can be lightning quick. As I believe he slots in to 2nd place. I mean, he's on the softs, yes, but the people around him are on ultra softs. So that could be a headline. We'll have to see as the race begins here in just a few minutes.
Yes, 3 minutes ago, we have some guys coming out on the softs right now. Heineken's already done a few laps on the softs. I believe Triton, Animus, and Raven both on their out laps or in the pits, changing to the softs after some idiot did that, and after realizing that I believe that the ultra softs were just a siding lap and just hot lap machines for the race. But the softs are the tire to go to, and some idiot is on the preferred strategy right now as he sits in 2nd place.
Looks like Raven's on an out lap as well. We might have to watch that to see if he can improve. Yeah, we'll take a look at the Ferrari.
Yeah, Raven coming down the back straight. He's definitely going to try to set up a faster lap time than a 132.1. It's going to be... Looks like he was pushing it just a bit, but may not have been... may have been sandbagging just a tad as he slows down the back straight to give a little bit of a gap to the car in front.
That and to warm up the brakes.
Oh, yeah. You want temperatures to be spot on here in China. No overheating, no underheating, no cold tires, no cold brakes. You want everything to be perfect for your qualifying lap. With 2 minutes to go, here's Raven.
As we go on board, coming through the turn 1, 2, 3 complex. Cuts that nicely, slams it into 3rd. The 3rd turn, that is. You see turn 4. Oh, Triton spun. Hello. That'll be a bit of a surprise. Slams on the binders at 100 meters. Back down to 2nd gear. Coming through easily one of the most exciting sets of corners in F1, at least in my opinion. These Chinese S's, as I like to call them, require a little bit of brake drag to get through properly, to kind of rotate the car without overheating the tires. And he's actually on softs right now, so we'll have to see what kind of time that he can pull, as he's light on fuel for qualifying.
Yes, he is light on fuel, but he's not light on tire wear. He's pushing this car as hard as he can and not really caring about the tires, because if this is a dry start, he will, and this is a faster lap, as I'll take a look at the split times for Raven, and it looks like they're slightly a tad slower. So he has to pick up the pace just a bit if he wants to set a faster lap. But coming out of the hairpin, no, he's not. He's not fast at all.
And just cut that corner just a touch.
That was 4 seconds slower than his qualified lap.
So we're expecting a 4-second gap, give or take, maybe 3, once we get into the race between the ultra softs and the softs. That's going to require some thought as they get into the race here soon.
I don't know if the tires that he was using weren't just up on par in tire wear, or tire heating, as some might call it, as Triton. Oh, I thought that was Triton still spun around on the track. No, that was the Mercedes' Swamp, I believe. Just pulled over. But I think this is now going to be his banger lap, and he was just trying to get the tires and a feel for them.
We'll have to see as he makes his way through 9 and 10, the double apex. It's actually looking pretty strong. Car's very stable.
It is faster than his previous lap, but not his personal best in Sector 2 and Sector 1, but he is I would say 0.7 off of his qualify lap, so he's going to have to make it all up in Sector 3.
He might have a bit of a draft here, though. Have to see if he can use the slipstream. Slams on the binders hard.
Yes, he was receiving a tow during all these straights, so that might help him. He is looking on pace around the final corner and onto the front straight. Opens up DRS, and he goes pole.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
What? What a banger of a lap. Kingy sitting in second place. He had a little bit of slipstream down the backstretch as well. He's on the ultras. Slamming on the brakes. Oh, and he missed the brake marker. He's going to have to call that one, unfortunately. As Jonathan disqualified from the session because he was blocking the pit lane?
Whoa. I think he might have had a little bit of an incident in the pit lane. This pit lane's very odd. You have to hit your brakes, and hopefully you not overcook them after the hairpin, and hopefully they work as you're going in there. And they say attack the pit lane, but going into the walls, the kind of different version of attacking the pit lane, as some might call it. But I'm looking at the splits for Ravens. Those first two sectors were not personal best. His personal best was a 23 in Sector 1 and a 24. But his Sector 3 was 2 seconds down on his personal best. So he was, I believe he was sandbagging in Sector 3 for that final lap. But what a lap by Raven.
What a lap indeed. We're going to just go ahead and wait for this to load back up. There you go. There's your times right there. A .234 gap between first and second place. And it just climbs from there. The top 5, not even within a second of each other. That's kind of surprising, honestly.
Well, also, look at the entire top 10, a mixture of tire compounds. So we're going to be seeing a lot of different strategies from all these drivers. I believe they're all halfway on softs and ultra softs. Yeah, 5 on each.
Yeah, pretty much. Should be an interesting few laps there at the beginning, especially as the ultra soft guys have to jump into the pits, put on their softs or mediums, depending on what exactly they're going to be doing. This all depends on their strategy, and the kind of nice part about this track is you can work that strategy however you'd like.
Yes, this track is very open to strategies, but it's also very painful to strategies as well. It's high on tire wear. You don't want to start on some lower tires, but you can carry out some tires and speed as long as you can.
Yeah, we'll have to see as the race is loading up here shortly. Oh, we've already lost one. That's not good.
Yeah, it's not good when you put in a pretty good lap and this dumps on you like that. So
sorry, I'm pretty
hard
sure.
to go out for Spider. Hopefully he can get back in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he should be able to, right? Yeah. Uh-oh,
yes,
here we
if
go.
he has formation lap.
For the formation lap. What do you say we go through the running order here, huh?
Yes, I believe that would be a good idea. We got Raven, driver for Ferrari, currently leading the championship as Kingy's doing something. That's a weird way to warm up your tires.
just do fat burnouts.
Yes. Tire wear is a thing, so you're going to have to keep that in mind. But Raven, currently tied for the lead of the championship, takes pole and sits in first place. He's followed by the McLaren of Kingy AV on the Ultra Soft tires, the first of our Ultra Soft tire runners, sitting in second. Animus sitting behind him in third. Looking pretty good on those soft tires. He'll be nice starting on the second row, but he'll be right beside the other guy tied for the championship lead is some idiot driving for Williams, starting on those soft tires. So he is very excited to be in the first 2 rows of this grid.
Especially on those soft tires. I mean, some idiot looking really strong. Took 2nd place last race, which is why there's a tie here today. Looking to break that tie right now. Fluffy Dave in the Hype Energy Force India. Starting 5th place. Don't see him on the...
He finished 3rd last race.
Finished 3rd. Okay, I was about to say, I know he finished
He's a
very
reserve
well.
driver.
Right, okay, very good. Yes. Looking for that permanent spot, I'm sure. Z3 Miking starting 6th, Flaff 7th, Sharkbait 98 8th, Heineken in 9th, and Zwamp in 10th as the drivers begin to fill their grid positions.
Yes, the bottom part of the grid, as I'm going to go through the tires, are all on softs, and Lundqvist is on mediums, but 11th, it's Triton, 12th, Lundqvist, 13th, Pranky, 14th, Intergalactic Gentleman, 15th, Relgus the Lion, 16th, Sacketh, 17th, Max KZR Racing, 18th, Jonathan AI, and 19th, if he can get back in, but I don't think he can, is Spider. I am just being informed that there is a fire in Spider's garage, and he will not be able to make the race.
Whoa. Oh, jump start, Triton.
Oh.
Everybody jump starting.
Multiple jump starts. And, oh my goodness, there's cars everywhere.
Chaos in the backfield, but Triton grabbing the lead. No, Raven takes over as Triton goes off the track knowing he's got a penalty.
Yeah, there are multiple jump starts, but someone who didn't jump the start but jumped a lot of places is some idiot as he goes around the outside of Kingy, AV, and Animus and jumps into 2nd place as there are, oh my, collisions galore in the background. As
a virtual safety
we got a
car.
VSC going on right now as all the cars in action are calming down. I think I'll have to take a breather after all that incidents. We got cars crashed all over the place. I'm going to go into the incidents to see who jumped the start. So we got Flaff with the jump start and Triton with the jump start. And going through the incidents, it looks like Kingy AV and Animus both had a collision, as Max had a collision with Intergalactic Gentleman. Triton had a collision with Lundqvist. Pranky had a collision with Heineken. Relgus had a collision with Heineken. Lots of penalties, as we have 3 stop-go penalties as well.
We have
as
Jonathan AI is crashed, actually. My
Oh.
goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming in. He's coming around turn 9 and 10, and guess got on the curbs just a little bit as he flies into the wall. And I believe we are back racing. Have some idiot going down the inside. Whoa, cutting it close there. At the end of the straight, but still holding 2nd place, but Raven leading him off.
Raven looking real strong, just holding his line, doing a fantastic job with the virtual safety car. Once it cleared, just took off and was able to stay in front this time around. But some idiot jumping from 4th to 2nd place. See if he can hold it.
Look at Animus and Kingy in the background, battling out for 3rd. It's Ultra Softs versus Softs right now. Kingy holding that position in that low-speed corner, but Animus diving down the inside into turn 6, and he does have the edge on him, but Kingy is still with him, having that tire grip advantage going into turn 7.
Ooh, he manages to hold it, left a little bit of room.
Yes, he does. He did leave a little bit of room, and that's all the room he needed to keep that 3rd place. But this back straight is going to become a drag strip very soon between these two, as Animus diving down the inside of turn 11. Big lockup for King. He's got a yellow flag at sector 2, sector 1, and sector 3. As Triton has left the session. Oh, what has happened to Triton?
Looks like Triton, yeah, Triton is having some problems, but...
Oh! That's just disconnection, I believe.
Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh,
I see his ghost car driving around. I don't see any damage on that car, but he's retired and pulling off the track.
Oh. Kingy's hanging it all out, though, coming out of the hairpin. He got a little bit sideways as The people behind him, he's got a bit of a train. Had to check up. We got a bit of a race brewing behind him, though, as Sharkbait under pressure.
Yeah, see Mikey going down the inside of turn 1, but you can make up positions and lose positions.
Oh,
and
sideways.
Yeah. Cutting it close. Look at Fluffy Dave. Almost had a bit of an incident there with Mikey. But yeah, turn 1 and turn 1, 2, 3, 4, that opening little clover field, as I like to call it sometimes, is a very interesting place just to have any sort of battle, because it has multiple lines. You can make positions on one line and then make it up later.
Pass, possible? No.
Mikey looking for a move. No, Dave looking for a move.
Looking for a move, yeah. No, Dave is looking. He's looking fast, too. He hasn't cooked those tires, and he's on the softs, which we kind of hypothesized that they would be the faster way to go. And only 3 laps in, and Z3 Mikey has had to start to conserve as much as he can and try to make those tires last a couple more laps.
Yes, Mikey is on those ultra soft tires, so that is something that we will start to see with them. They'll start to fall off right now because they went to qualifying on these tires, maybe did a few more laps on them, more than one, as Fluffy Dave just sitting in that slipstream as Mikey goes down the inside
this is
of
bad.
Oh! Makes it stick, but look at Fluffy Dave making up the place on Sharkbait as Sharkbait was kind of left out, but they're side by side going in through turn 16. Wow. As Mikey just runs into the pits immediately.
To the pits. Yeah, he just ducked right in. Watch Fluffy Dave. He's chasing down a Sharkbait there. Let's go on board.
Flap has just been disqualified from the session for ignoring his drive-through penalty. Oh.
Wow, that's gonna be hard.
That's a heartbreaker, but look at Fluffy Dave!
What a move!
Licking the stick and licking the stamp and sending it.
There you go. Yeah, there it is. Sorry, what?
I was trying to say making the move stick and licking the stamp at the same time, and just morphed into one sentence. Fluffy Dave, what a move!
Made it work, just like Fluffy Dave did. I can't believe he's able to get on the binders that quick as we go off board of him. Looking good too. You know, have to admit though, those hype energy colors.
They are. They're just pristine.
That's
right there,
so
looking
clear.
on that Force India.
You know exactly which car you were looking at.
Oh, we know. But a battle we're looking at is the battle for first between Raven and Some Idiot, because Some Idiot has closed that gap on the back straight, going half a second behind Raven. As this battle, I believe, is going to be raging for most of this race, with Some Idiot sitting in that draft going into turn 1, and he's looking primed for a move and to make up some ground right here.
So the trick for turn 1 and 2 is, when you're following at least, is to try to get as much air as you can on the wing so you don't lose so much time in the backdraft, if you will, of the car in front of you. And Some Idiot has managed to hold on to it while sticking generally behind Raven, looking for a move there.
He was selling him a dummy as Raven locked up his brakes. I was watching Raven's car as he was going through turn 1, and his car did a little bit of a sidestep, a little bit of oversteer near the turn 2 spot of that opening set of the opening 4 turns, and it looks like his car is not the most stable car, so we should be able to watch him throughout this race. But Some Idiot closing in on Raven, and he's going, he's selling him another dummy. See if he takes the bait. Another lockup from Raven, but Some Idiot closing that gap into the carousel. This is going to be a drag strip as he is almost front wing to gearbox with Raven. Oh boys, buckle your seatbelts. Here we go.
This could be good. Some Idiot has the slipstream. Should cut out. Yeah, there's the cutout. Gonna try for the outbreak. Manages to get on the brakes. He's got to bind this up. Locks the front tires. Manages to make it stick. Oh, he's being challenged again, though.
To fight back. Raven trying to look for the outside move. Some Idiot blocks him off as he holds first place. Now Raven has DRS going down his front straight. Some Idiot deciding where he wants to defend. Was on the inside of the track, to swoop to the outside. No obstructions there, but he is holding him, going for the really wide line, then cutting down into the other corner, still holding first, but look at Raven right behind him. A little bit loose on the exit, as he might not have the most sturdy car, as I said earlier, but some idiot holding that first stop, as Kingy is still out on those ultra soft tires.
Kingy, we are not quite sure what he is thinking about right now, but he's making it work here. 6 laps those ultra softs have lasted, and that's actually pretty good, especially around a circuit like this. He's going to have to be coming in here soon, though.
Yes. 6 laps is probably the point where you should start going to the pits on these ultra softs, but Fluffy Dave, as he passed the ultra soft car earlier, is now closed in a second on Kingy AV, so those tires are now going out of sync right now, as Raven is just falling back behind some idiot. They're front wing to gearbox early, but somebody is just pulling away in this opening stint.
No, it's a good move for Raven, honestly. Save the fuel while you can. You're behind him, get a little bit of slipstream, as I'm actually watching Kingy and Fluffy Dave start to possibly go at it. Dave got the DRS. He might try to the outbreak. Ooh, he had to kind of check up there a little bit. Kingy breaks
Dave
early.
going down the inside. Kingy's going to look for his pit box. Oh, if he's not careful, he's going to go straight into him.
Ooh, that was close. Whew. Oh, he goes into the wall.
Into the wall. Kingy overcooked the brakes and goes into the wall after sending it into the pits. Disastrous for Kingy. That's a damaged front wing for him, and some ruined tires, but he's getting rid of them anyway, so why not, I guess. But that is very disastrous for the McLaren driver, as he's in the pits right now.
In the pits, we'll leave that marker on the screen for you so we can see when he comes out. But right now, everybody is fairly spread out, and we kind of expected this, as
he also has a penalty.
Yeah, probably overshooting the pits.
No, he's got a 5-second stop-go penalty for a incident at the start.
Oh,
so
no.
he's using even more time, and I believe he's going to come out in 14th.
And then he's got to go back. Ouch.
Wait, his car is still on the pits. This has been way more than 5 seconds.
Might have suspension damage taken after hitting the wall right there.
I don't know what's going on in this Renault pit, as he falls down to 15th. He's still in his pit box.
But as you can see, everybody is kind of spread out at this point. It only took 8 laps for that to happen. Kind of expecting a little bit more than that. But luckily for us, everybody seems to have calmed down a little bit. I think we can rest our voices just a touch.
Yes, we can, but look at the battling Ferraris between Animus and Raven. Remember, they had a sort of team order-ish overtake in Bahrain last race. As there might be another instance of team orders, as Kingy is definitely not... Okay, there's something up with that McLaren.
Hey, he hasn't left the pits yet.
They are still in the pits.
Gonna have to check that out. Get the pit reporter on that one, as Raven and Animus are gearbox to wing. This is what they did in Bahrain. They saved fuel like crazy, and Animus would go by and challenge for the lead. Some idiot not able to get back, get a little bit farther out. And right now, Raven with the fastest lap, so they're definitely hanging with each other for sure. As Animus swaps out, there might be a position change here. Yes, there will be, as Raven backs off the throttle a little bit. Just don't run into
That was a very formal overtake on the back straight, but I don't think that was a friendly overtake, as Raven's just right immediately on his back of him. But there might have been something going on here at Ferrari for that, but they are still battling it out together for second and third. As somebody is leading by 1.5 seconds going into the first turns.
And honestly, this is pretty much the closest race we have right now. Everybody else very spread out. Max KZR Racing trying to close in on Sharkbait for a top 5, but he's a little bit far out as we're looking at the intervals right now. Lungfist Bro looked like he was getting close to Heineken, but unfortunately he's dropping off right now.
We got a message from Kingy, actually. His car, he doesn't know what's going on. His car is still sitting there. I looked through the race reports, and he doesn't have any. Oh, he's just retired.
Oh, he had to retire.
He doesn't have any penalties at all. His car was just sitting there. So
that's very weird.
Well, tough race for Kingy right there. That was very bizarre. I don't know what to say about that.
Somebody called Dan and let Codemasters know what's going on with our game.
Well, luckily for you, Dan's back in the chat, so hi, Dan.
That's the joke one. That's all right. I'm pretty sure there must have been something going on with that car that couldn't have been fixed. Had that happen before when playing career mode. So just one of those instances, and maybe he just didn't see the message or something. We'll have to ask him a little bit later, I think. Hopefully we can get that all sorted out. But honestly,
I think he's just as confused as we are.
I think he is. He probably and rightfully so. And like I said, we'll have to sort that out a little bit later, as Animus and Raven still running nose to tail here for 2nd and 3rd place.
Yes, the 2 Ferrari drivers are still going at it in this procession of somebody. Animus and Raven has looked this way since Australia. These top 3 guys are the top 3 in the Oh wait, no, they are not. Animus has not had the best of luck in the recent races with a few incidents, but still going on right now in the live championship. No, Animus is running 3rd in the championship.
Yeah, he's running 3rd. Yeah, he's doing fine. He's just kind of doing what he does, and he's kind of towing Raven
behind him, behind the fight for 1st. But currently, the fight for 1st would lead some idiot leading the championship right now.
Oh wait, we got to pass Z3 Mikey. Looking to pass. Who is that? That's Frankie. He nails the pass on the front stretch. I think Frankie might have let him go a little bit, as he is on the soft tires. Frankie is, I should say. And yeah,
Mikey's on the soft tires.
Mikey's on the softs. Oh, got him.
He's on the fresh softs. He pit for
That's right. Yes, he
mediums.
Did.
No, wait, no. Mikey's on the mediums. What am I talking about?
I don't know. You tell me.
182nd pit stop for Kingy. And they just said enough's enough and retired the car. Both McLarens out of the race for Kingy right there and Jonathan AI. They're definitely going to look for a better thing. As Raven jumps into the pits, locks up his brakes. No pit penalty for Raven right now, as the first leader on these soft tires go into the pits with 18 laps to go. He heads on to the medium tires.
Strategies are starting to come about.
The strategy wall, the pit wall is working hard. Everyone, the armchair strategists, the commentator strategists, and the driver strategists are all working hard to see what is the most optimum strategy for these soft tires and medium tires. I would say they got a little bit, like 2 laps to go on these softs before they should go into the pits.
Frankie, and that's Heineken battling here, coming down off the penultimate corner. Frankie now slotted into 10th. It's looking like Heineken is going to secure this. Yeah, no, Frankie did hit the DRS detection zone, so he'll be able to stay there as they run down the front stretch and into the first set of corners.
It's braking really early from Heineken. Another struggling with a bit lockups. He's just locking up his front right every now and then. It's just very inconsistent with brakes as Heineken's pulling away from him. Frankie very loose. He's lost a ton of ground. They were nose to tail on the front straight, and now he's 1.5 seconds back. What a disastrous thing for Frankie right there.
I'm trying to watch the car right now for Frankie, and I don't know if he's trying to save tires. He might be trying to save some fuel at this point as well. It's tough to tell, but he's not taking the apexes like normal. In fact, he's quite a bit slower than we've seen him go.
Well, as you're saying that, Animus and Fluffy Dave are heading into the pits, but something about Animus heading into the pits, he had the biggest lockup I've ever seen in that pit lane. and he just barely got his car under the speed limit as he comes
Oh,
next
they collide!
to Raven, and that is
Some idiot? Did some idiot spin?
no, that's not some idiot. That
was Lungfist, bro.
yes, that is Lungfist. The lapped car Lungfist got out right next to Raven as Animus swooped onto the track.
Oh, we got a
making
race
turn
there
one
for Raven and Max
wide.
KZR Racing. I'm sorry to interrupt you there. I know we're talking over each other, but honestly, Max KZR Racing is racing ACR Raven at this point, and it has been a barn burner. They're bumping all over the place. I think there's a bit of desync because it doesn't look like there's any damage on any of the cars. They held their line, and it looks like Max KZR Racing will slot into 4th again after challenging for 3rd place.
Yes, he did. He took advantage of that issue with Lundqvist after that turn 1. So we got a yellow flag in Sector 3. Don't know what that's for, but both of the Ferraris are pulling away from the Red Bull as their fight continues. But what a bizarre incident we saw as Animus around the outside. No, that's Raven.
That's Raven. Raven around the outside, but he locked it up. He couldn't get the exit speed he's looking for, but he's hanging tight here, trying to challenge for 2nd place. Decides to let his teammate go and get the better line. Now he's going to have to challenge for this, and I think I saw Max go into the pits.
Yes, Max has just ran to the pits, but also some idiots in the pits.
Oh, he comes out.
But he just came out. Some idiot is still in the lead of this race after making a pit stop. As Raven and Animus are side by side going through the 2nd part of this opening turn, some idiot, master stroke strategy, got the over to stay out. The undercuts for both the Ferraris didn't work as they are still battling with each other.
Only 13 laps into this race, 28 laps are to be run, and I'm not sure if any of these 3 are going to make it the way that they're battling each other.
Well, somebody is just driving his own race. Raven and Animus barging at each other. Animus almost getting onto Raven's back wheel. They might have touched back there, but watch these 2 Ferraris as that lapped Renault of Relgus just drives off straight as Raven. Oh, Relgus actually spun. Raven getting extremely close to some idiot around the carousel turn as he opens up DRS, and it's going to become a drag strip here in China. He's gaining tons of time on some idiot. Goes down the inside. Hold your breath. A little bit of a lock up. He does make a mistake, but some idiot is very conservative on the throttle on that exit. Raven gets very loose and he shoots off to the right into the gravel. Losing a lot of speed. Somebody is going to have a chance to fight back, but look at Animus down the inside of somebody.
Oh,
He's
touch!
boxed in. The Ferraris touch again. Oh, this 3-way fight for the lead has me on the edge of my seat. And probably everyone in the Ferrari pits as well as Animus takes the lead. Wow.
Wow, indeed. The action is so frenetic that Austin is even eating his microphone. It's insane.
I'll just move that away from
Bit
you for a
of
second.
bit of compression there, buddy.
Got it.
Don't blame you though, honestly. Oh, Frankie with a 3-second time penalty. Looks like he's having some issues, but some idiot is now finding himself in 3rd place, trying to slot himself in here for some slipstream action. As we're watching this lead pack, honestly, this is some of the closest racing we've seen all year. Heineken looks like he's gaining on Z3 Mikey again. That could be a challenge there for 7th place. We'll have to take a look at that here in just a moment.
Let's shoot back to the leaders as I'll try to be calm about this, but Animus is pulling away from Raven, but some idiot gaining on this back straight. There's not going to be a move for the lead, but watch those brakes of Raven as he did have a bit of lockup. But no moves happening right there as Animus still leading this front 3 pack. I don't want to look away from this, but yes, Heineken is gaining on Mikey.
We'll have to take a look at that. We have to see that.
Yes, Heineken getting extremely close into turn 11, around 12 and 13 into the carousel. We got a yellow flag at sector 3. That's when I don't want to look away, but Heineken, once again, falling off the pace once he's getting close to Mikey. He's not getting any time. As they go into the hairpin, and I believe Heineken's going to head into the pits right now.
Yeah, it might be a good idea. Let's have a look at him.
No,
he won't.
He's staying out.
Well, okay. Thought those tires might be a little bit fried. Let's have a look at where he's at.
13 laps on those soft tires. Those
yeah.
are well past the mark. I guess he's just going for one more. Just one more lap. He smells blood. He sees red. He wants that Renault of Mikey dead. And he wants that overtake. Big lock up in the front left. As he's getting extremely close to Mikey, and there might be a move down the inside. Yes, there is.
Late break. Oh, Mikey doesn't know he's there.
Ooh. Mikey did not know he was there and held him off. And Heineken almost rubbing his front wing on that back right tire. On these warm tires, these extremely worn tires, 13 laps on them. He's definitely going to have to go into the pits now, and he just wants to get past that Renault.
Oh, he might have a chance here. Mikey messed up on the exit of one of those double apexes, but Mikey puts the pedal down. He's got to be really careful. Heineken, very tough. We're on board with Heineken, by the way, as Mikey slows it up quite a bit. He doesn't quite have the grip, I don't think. Oh, dive down the inside. Hopefully the front doesn't wash out. Mikey holding his line, and Heineken makes the pass.
Heineken will also have DRS as he was behind right there, but it's going to be a drag race side by side, even with DRS assistance. This is going to be a very exciting turn 14 like it has been all day.
Oh,
Lock up from Heineken as he does get the overtake.
There could be another
and
pass.
Stays
That's a
out
cut.
for another.
Mikey cut the track, and he got a time penalty for that one.
Yeah, 3-second time penalty. Heineken staying out 14 laps on these soft tires.
That is remarkable, honestly. I didn't think that they'd be able to do a one stopper. At least I don't think Heineken has stopped yet. Actually, he has. Okay, so those are fairly fresh-ish, but they have to be going away here fairly quickly. 12 laps left in the race.
Oh, Lundqvist has retired from the session. As well as Relgis.
Huh.
Oh, Relgis was already retired.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah.
I thought they collided on each other right again. I thought that was a sector 3 was for.
Oops.
But very disastrous for him. Yeah, Heineken did stop, and he is on those. He did stop from ultra soft to soft tires, so he's going for a 2-stop right now. But the ones who are not on the 2-stop strategy are both the Ferraris and Williams of some idiot. As that battle for the lead has evolved into a battle for the top 2, as somebody has dropped 1 second behind of Raven, as Raven's just half a second behind Animus in the lead.
Trying to cycle through cameras here as fortunately I still have a little bit of bugs with my Stream Deck setup. That's right, I'm running cameras off of a Stream Deck. Just a slight bug. If you hit the wrong button, everything kind of goes a little bit haywire, and that's my fault. It's not the Stream Deck's. But yes, everybody, that's right. We are using sponsored products here. If you need a fantastic little device to run anything basically on your computer, or if you're a streamer and you just want to be able to operate certain things in your stream, the Stream Deck is the way to go.
Also, AOR is powered by the Elgato as Raven, big lockup, heading into turn 14, battling with a lapped car. He loses a lot of time to Animus after gaining so much time.
I think that was Frankie in 11th place going a lap down, and even some idiot had some problems going around him too.
Yeah, some idiot being held up a lot. He gained a lot of time, but Frankie was just a sitting duck on that apex and no boost could be made, but Raven is like a shark in the water, and he's trying to battle his teammate as much as he could. He wants to be ahead of him. He's going for that driver's championship, and he doesn't want to be near some idiot at all. It's another lockup.
They're braking so late. Honestly, the brake times on these cars, don't get me wrong, they're astoundingly short. You don't necessarily have to brake at the 150 mark or anything, but you do have to brake just before the 100 mark, and if you're just a tick late, you'll have to lock up in order to even make the corner. And it looks like Raven is trying to trail brake a little bit. Not a good way to go with these cars. You have to roll your way through that corner, or maybe even use a little throttle to make it work. But Raven's pushing so hard, he's trying to brake so late, he's locking up nearly every corner that requires heavy braking.
Yeah, with 10 laps to go, I'm not a doctor, but locking up the tires is not good for tire wear.
Are you sure? I thought you were.
No.
No? No, you're still working on that?
Yeah, I'm getting a doctorate of film.
Oh, yeah, see, there you go. Let's see.
I play one on TV.
Oh, right. Yeah. That means you know everything.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
As Raven is still closing in on Animus, but going back to that talk about tire wear, with 10 laps to go, going into 9 laps, around the same time frame, with 8 laps on those medium tires, he has the oldest tires in the top 3, so he's going to have to definitely look after these tires. But with all the lockups he's been doing and all the pushing, I don't think tire wear is on his mind at all. But going later into the race, that will bite him currently, as he's just closing in on Animus right now, as they're just having a little, they're just sitting front wing to gearbox right now. Some idiot is sitting back there waiting for something to happen and just being very cautious and looking after his tires, something that both these Ferraris are not doing, as more puffs of smoke fly out of Raven's front tires.
You mentioned the puffs of smoke. I'm starting to see that from Animus as well. He's trying to use the throttle to regulate the angle of his car, the angle of attack through the corner, and it's starting to smoke the rears a little bit. He's going to have to be very careful on that rear tire wear.
Yes, Raven and Animus, both of them trying to keep their cars very sturdy. We were talking about Raven's car, or I saw some messages about Raven's car in qualifying saying it was very unstable through a few corners, and in the braking zone it's been very evident later on in this race how it's just been sliding, just shifting around very tiny mid-corner, and the lockups in the braking zone is he gets very loose and right, and you saw that little swerve of him on the curbs on the exit of turn 16, and that car does not look stable, and that might be where he's having trouble.
While we have a moment, I would like to recognize Max KZR Racing. He has gone up 11 positions.
Wow.
In this race. That is a fantastic drive. Hopefully he's able to hold it together, as he is sitting 6th place right now. I think he might have one more stop. I'm not sure if those mediums can last another 8 laps. We'll have to see as the race progresses, though. 6th place here for Max, looking great.
Oh, Pranky has retired from the session. So we have 11 cars left as the start, as China's kind of looking like a war zone right now, with all these carbon fiber parts all around the track, as Pranky's Force India adds to that collection of cars.
So we should also mention Saketh, easily the well, there's no other way to say this, he's the oldest sim racer I know.
Yes, he is the oldest sim racer I know, but he's also the oldest tire wear user I know. With 17 laps on those medium tires. That just gives you a mindset on how much tire wear that these guys have left, and they will go 17 laps according to him. So we are set for the one-stop finish for these two. As some idiot sets a new fast lap, he's definitely pushing down on these two Ferraris with 8 laps on his tires with 7 to go.
I think he should be able to make it. He's just got to make sure he doesn't lock up anything. He's got to keep the lines clean. But that's a tough push.
He is pushing, but look at Raven pushing as well, almost getting on the back of his teammate, as both of them are having a bit of moments coming out of the exit. But look at some idiot. He's got the pace. He's closed that gap from 1.5 seconds down to under a second, as he's joining Animus and Raven for this battle to first right now. as we should start getting a massive show and a grand finale in these closing ends of this race. Raven now defending and attacking on Animus. He's going to have to struggle on which one to focus on more. Who's more important, my championship decider or my teammates? First or second? Who does he have to focus more on?
He's got to focus on staying in second place more than anything else. He's got his teammate in front of him. He knows he can trust him, even though they're dicing back and forth half the race. But you know that Animus is not going to make a mistake and cost Raven his race. Some idiot, though, could come through and steal second place from him. And that's going to put him in third place with his teammate in first. That's going to knock him down quite a bit. Animus will get into the points race a little bit more, but it's not nearly as detrimental to Raven's championship hopes, as he barely holds it together there through the second and third corners, but now he's got some idiot breathing down his neck.
Yeah, Raven lost a ton of time as some idiot dies down the inside, but Raven just holds it, and some idiot almost sticking the overtake, having Raven shoot out to the outside of the track. He lost a lot of time in that opening sector. I don't know what happened to him, but he just went down a second behind of Animus. But you said something about the Ferraris trusting each other. I was going to remind you about a little bit of incidents that these two guys have had. Australia, that opening lap earlier in this race into turn 1. No, not Australia, the opening lap. Australia in that race, they both collided with each other, took each other out of the race, not crashed out, but out of the race for the win, giving some idiot his maiden victory and the first victory for us ever, as this battle has kind of reset each other. Somebody is just looking after his tires and looking after his race. He's a very conservative driver. His driving style and the way he battles, and he thinks about things very mathematically. I've talked with him over the week about his thoughts about China and his race strategy, and he says, I just want to first finish the race. Can't win if can't finish. So he always looks after his car and safety first, then they battle the next.
I think we may have found the answer as to why Raven is having a little bit of trouble. He's 12 laps on those tires, whereas some idiot is on 10 laps. That might be the threshold there between the two tire lives, if you will. We saw that in AOR F1 on RF2, on R Factor 2. There was actually 2 tire lives to the tires there at Bahrain this past weekend, where tires would fall off and then they would kind of come back. Might be happening here. It's kind of tough to tell. I don't think that's really a big feature in F1 2018, but if these guys would allow their tires to cool off, then that might be the reason why some idiot is able to kind of keep up here with Raven. And I think he might be trying to force Raven into a pit stop there to go in on the ultra softs as the fuel winds down.
Yes, Raven cooking his tires just a little bit by locking up, but he is sitting in the slipstream of that back marker of Z3 Mikey as they're heading down into this hairpin. Mikey, watch out for him, as he gives enough room for these battling top 3, not wanting to risk any blue flag penalties or just be a nuisance for anyone. But Raven has now pulled a second ahead of some idiot as he sets the new fastest lap.
Wow. Turning up the fuel is Raven. My goodness, that is blistering.
Yeah, that is a blistering lap as some idiot gets into the grass. His car almost goes sideways in the opening turns as he falls down to almost 2 seconds behind of Raven. That is not what you want to happen if you're battling for the lead or just any position at all, as he's now sitting 1.5 seconds back with 4 laps to go, and he is the freshest of these medium tires with 11 laps. Animus with 12 and Raven with 13. So we're just going by tire life. Some idiot does have the advantage, but Raven has the pace advantage by how much he's been pushing, and he is half a second behind his teammate. And I believe this ending show will go on for 4 laps.
I think so as well. I just wanted to check back in with Max KZR Racing, sitting in 6th place, trying to reel in shark bait. within 1.2 seconds at the last interval. I have a feeling that we might see Max in a top 5, and for those who missed it, he has gone up 11 positions, having a fantastic race. We'll have to keep track of that as the race winds down.
Yeah, Max started fresh out of the point, out of the top 10 today. And after a very chaotic start with 2 jump starts, a lot of collisions, a virtual safety car, and then a bunch of driver retirements and just mistakes from other drivers, he's pulled up all the way to 6 and is currently sitting 1.5 seconds behind of Sharkbait 98. And he is on pace, or is on pace for 5th place right now in these closing laps. So that is the story to follow. Definitely some guy you want to talk to after this race.
I'll go back with Raven, though, on the 14-lap old mediums, managing to hold off some idiot at this point and just securing himself into 2nd place. Looking pretty strong. Car's getting a touch shaky as he makes his way through the 2nd sector here on lap 25. Animus just holding strong. Honestly, he's just looking so solid there in the lead.
I haven't seen a mistake from Animus yet when he was just in the lead. That battle for the lead when he was coming out of the pits was like the only time I saw mistakes. No damage on either of the Ferraris, but big lockup from Raven right there. But yeah, Animus has just been holding on a very, very solid lead, and he is just being very consistent as Raven is bouncing within half a second to a second gap between him and some idiot, as some idiot is just sitting back there at 1.5 seconds. I believe he's just going to settle for 3rd place and wait for something to happen. And honestly, I would too.
I mean, it's possible too that he might just be. Oh, Raven has a 3-second time penalty. This is not good for Raven. He's going to end up falling to 3rd.
There is that something I was just talking about. Raven has been very unstable. Now some idiot is in net 3rd place.
Oh, he runs into the leader.
They run into each other. Raven, no damage on his front wing, but that is not helping him or his teammate. Either of them not happy with that, but both of them now a threat by some idiot who is in net 2nd place with that 3-second time penalty.
Just has to stay within that time frame more than anything. He's sitting at just about 1.5 seconds. If he can close up a little bit, though, just get into DRS range, that would just secure it more than anything else. If he can even get a pass on, that would be even better. Put some pressure on Animus here, but the race is starting to wind down here with only 2 laps left. It's gonna be a hard ask. Let's put it that way.
It is gonna be a hard ask. Raven might try a overtake for the lead very soon, just for the heck of it. As up ahead in this track, we got a battle in the lap cars between Intergalactic Gentleman and Heineken. As Gentleman might have a issue because he's just fallen right back a mile behind of Heineken.
We're
going on pace. What is with
No, we're taking
Gentleman's going extremely slow down the front straight.
We're taking a look at Gentleman right now. It's hard to tell if there's any real damage, but he's letting the leaders through. Good move.
Yes, he is. Just has to get out of the way of some idiot right there. And there he goes.
Now,
but that battle for the lead, that battle for 7th between them was just halted as Heineken blew past Gentleman on that top straight. I guess Gentleman's thinking more about the blue flags than his position, and that might have happened as Raven is getting tight with Animus.
we're on board with Raven right now.
Raven's sitting behind Animus, shifts up through the gears, hard on the brakes, big lock up again. He's been doing that most of this race. I'm surprised his tires are lasting this long or have this much grip, but he is losing time to Animus coming out of this carousel section. 16 laps on these tires with 2 laps to go. Who has the tire wear? Who has the pace? in these closing laps. It's another big lockup for Raven.
Huge. A double lockup, too. He's just braking so late, trying to catch his teammate. He's got to work the traffic. Look, Animus has a lap car in front of him. Okay, get in DRS range, which he is, and just chase down that lap car. As there goes Heineken right there in the Red Bull. Look at all that speed he's carrying through the corners. He's got to figure out a way to carry that speed through and work the throttle to get that back end to rotate around.
Halfway through turn 1, and Raven's car got very oversteery and kicked out just a tad, if you saw that, as he is now closing in on Animus.
Oh.
And another big lockup on the final lap. He's going for the win no matter what. As these cars are entering the crucial lap points, low fuel, top speed, top pressure. Remember, Raven's got a 3-second time penalty, so he's currently third. Some idiot is in second. They're just trying to pull away a gap as Raven.
Oh, man.
Raven goes wide again and another big lockup.
Some idiot is still too far behind to really take advantage of that.
I think somebody is just saying the state that Raven's racecraft is in is just not going to even risk it.
Yeah, good move, actually.
Just going to sit 1.5 seconds behind him as Raven coming down the back straight, sitting 0.8 seconds. We're going to have a very close finish. Physically, not time-wise. There's another big lockup for Raven. But Animus leading a solid race after a very good pit stop, comes across the final corner and down the front straight as he takes the win in China.
Animus putting together a heck of a race, takes a little bit of a love tap there from his teammate ACR Raven, but some idiot slotting into second place. The story there of Raven having the 3-second penalty. Raven was pushing that whole race. He had to have cut a corner somewhere, and eventually it's going to catch up to you, and he just did it one too many times. Took that 3-second penalty, and that moves some idiot into second spot on the podium. Sharkbait and Max KZR Racing, though, there could be a bit of a race there. They make their way down the backstretch.
Max KZR Racing up 11 positions. Can he make it 12? Oh, Max getting very loose at the end. I think that's just going to cement his race right there. But around the final corner, Sharkbait's going to take 5th, followed by Max. Yes, Max sits in 6th. Great job for Max, by the way. But
fantastic.
Story of the day. Some idiot. 2nd place, but not 2nd in the championship as he breaks the tie, and he's now leading the Drivers' Championship to Raven.
Our last of the runners, Saketh, the elder statesman of this league, coming around in the Toro Rosso, just making his way through it. And I like Saketh's style. He just wants to finish the race. You can't blame him. We'll go ahead and feature him through this one because, honestly, one of the best guys here at AOR and a fantastic gentleman indeed.
Yes, he is very cool to talk to and fantastic. As it's Ferrari standing on the top step of the podium once again. And it's Animus this time taking first as they spray the champagne. Animus actually one of the few Canadians we have in the NA American League. So great job for Canada today.
Great job for Canada indeed. I mean, a solid race all around, honestly. You can't really be, disappointed with that one. The only thing that I think really was disappointing was the fact that, there was the few jump starts, and that really kind of messed a lot of people up. Don't really want to be the subject of any of that aggression, I'll be honest with you.
Well, as we take a look at our standings, finishing in their first win ever, it's Animus taking the win, followed by Some Idiot with Raven in 3rd. He's followed by Fluffy Dave, Sharkbait 98, Max KZR Racing, Heineken, Intergalactic Gentleman, Z3 Mikey, Z-Wop, Saketh, Frankie, Lundquist, Relgus the Lion, Kingy AV, It's Trying, Jonathan AI, Flaff. Coming up at the rear, we've had 12 through 18 6 DNFs in this race after that insane start.
Yeah.
Where we had 2 jump starts. One guy got disqualified. That was Flaff. And wow, what a crazy race. Battles for the lead throughout the entire race. Great drive by Animus. That is a win to be proud of. Great drive by everybody as we're going to head into the post-race commentary section. I'm going to try to get some of the drivers for us.
Yeah, we're going to get some of the drivers in here to say hi, and hopefully everybody in the chat had a good time watching this race. I sure as heck did. Stream Deck working awesomely. I want to thank all the sponsors. Hype Energy for bringing this one to you. Elgato, the Stream Deck, an awesome piece of equipment. Get you one if you haven't got one yet. And, of course, all the other products that Elgato makes. Thrustmaster for the steering wheels and the pedals and everything else that they do. And, honestly, awesome products. I wish I could afford one. God, I would race so much if I had a Thrustmaster wheel. And all the sponsors, every one of you guys for tuning on in. It's been fantastic having you here. I hope you enjoyed. Animus with his first win ever, apparently, according to him in the stream. But it looks like we have some idiot.
Yeah, sadly, Raven's not the happiest right now, and he doesn't want to be interviewed. I couldn't find him in the interviewee section. And Animus doesn't have a mic.
He doesn't have a mic. Well, that could be a small problem.
We're settling in for the championship leader of the AOR American League, some idiot.
I think I had the pace to win today. That was very, very, very disappointing. I don't know. That's one of the best cars I've had in a league race. Like, car was amazing for once. Felt like I was hauling the mail, to use that expression. But
you know what? It looked like it. It looked like you were really comfortable out there, but you ran your race, and honestly, that's really all you can do. And between Animus and Raven fighting the way that they were, you had to stay out of it. You have to finish the race first before you can even score any points. And honestly, I think what you did might have been the right move.
I should have fought harder. Absolutely should have. I shouldn't have given up that position knowing the pace I had. If I was leading, I could pull out a gap, but I thought, oh, they're going to fight each other so hard they'll burn their tires off and I'll come back later. But as soon as we hit back markers, it's like I got held up for about a second or so by one who's trying to fight like they're fighting for the win in their lap down, and pretty much I had to burn up everything that I had saved sitting behind them trying to get back to them, and it pretty much ruined the idea of just saving early, going hard later. So it's disappointing. I think I should have fought harder.
Are you going to go to the stewards about that incident, or are you just going to accept what happened and go on? You are leading the championship, by the way, but that points gap could be bigger.
Absolutely, and I don't know. I have a rule of thumb. If an incident bothers me the day after, then I would do something about it. Otherwise, I deal with it between me and the person themselves. And if I can deal with it between me and him, I have no problem. So,
well, congrats on another second place and the lead of the championship. You had a very solid race today. Sadly, you couldn't get the win in the bag. You had a very dominant pit stop, by the way, where you came out in front of both of the Ferraris. I
wanted to pit 2 laps sooner. My teammate was pit in the lap I wanted to pit in. I mean, he's racing his own race, so I'm not going to hold that against him. But I should have done his pit first and let them have to make the decision. I wanted to wait until Raven pit. When Raven pit, I was going to pit the lap after him, and then my teammate pit in. So I can't double stack because I didn't know if he had damage or not. I'm not sure if I was going to get held up. So I should have pit anyway and taken my chances, or I should have pit the earliest out of everybody.
Just learning for next time.
I hope I have the next time.
Well, somebody, thank you for coming on in. I really appreciate it. I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream. Austin, a fantastic race overall. We have a break next week.
Yes, we do have a break next week. a few of us will be at the Circuit of the Americas for the actual F1 race. I will be there. I'll see if I could maybe do something at the track for AOR. I'm not sure. I'll probably have to talk to Dan with that.
Ooh,
Dan,
hint,
hit
hint.
me up, PMs.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint.
Nudge,
Indeed.
nudge. Indeed, indeed. All right, Austin, where can we find you?
You'll find me at Haas Hill, turn 19, with my Haas boys.
Gotta bring a
Yeah.
Mexican flag and Perez #1. Gotta bring that board in.
I'm not bringing that board in.
Perez #1. No, don't y'all forget that.
You keep saying
I
that
meant,
to yourself.
I
buddy.
meant on the internet, sir.
Oh, on the internet.
I hope y'all streaming still because I want to make sure that got in.
Oh no,
We
no,
are.
we're still
Oh,
live.
perfect,
I'm trying to let Austin try to promote his brand a little bit, but he won't do it. He just keeps talking about F1.
Out your brand.
I thought you were talking about where I would be next.
Well, now everybody knows.
So you can find me on Twitter at official A Knight and on Twitch at Rytier. I stream and I talk about films.
That's
And
right.
you can find NinjaRider at
NinjaRider RL on the Twitters. On Twitch, you can find me NinjaRider, although I don't really stream all that much anymore because I'm usually too busy doing commentary. So, no problem. Thank you all for joining us this evening. It's been fantastic. Hope you enjoyed. We will see you soon.
In this game called life, I've been so compliant. Outside perspective, I'm so defiant. Before wife and my seeds, I was self-reliant. Thinking all I ever needed was my health to